really, if you had, I mean, imagine, look at who's currently in the presidency and who the last president was, and go backwards through history. It's been quite a while since we've had somebody who was really effective in that office. And my point is, we would be far better off if we had people who were courageous, capable, and patriotic. Right? If you offer me somebody who meets those three criteria, I don't actually care which side of the
What was the second
one? Courageous, capable, patriot. Those are the three. And if you take two of those people, one from each side, I'm pretty comfortable that two people who come from different sides of the aisle and have those three characteristics, who sit down and have a conversation about what the right direction for the country would be, will arrive at something that I can respect. They might be wrong. That will happen. This is a difficult puzzle to solve, but I know it won't be born of corruption or ineptitude or...
How do you avoid that, though? I mean, it's very... to say, if we have somebody that's courageous, okay, people would vouch for that. Somebody who's capable, fantastic. Somebody who is patriotic, phenomenal. How do you manage that? Because the system can't filter those three things out. An actor can become a president based on our current system that we have.
Well, let's take our mutual friend Joe Rogan, for example. And I don't mean to put him on the spot here, but can we agree that he meets my three criteria?
No question about it.
No question about it. Okay, so let's say that Joe Rogan is the progressive in a unity kind of team. Okay, what does Joe do? Does Joe know anything about how to architect a civilization?
That's not his skill set.
No, but what would he do?
Bring in the best of the best.
There you go. How hard is that?
No, I'm not saying with you that I'm not telling you I don't want a courageous, capable, patriotic person. What I'm saying is, why isn't the system attracting those types of people to become president? Now, somebody from the right may say, you're saying Trump isn't courageous. He is. He's not capable. He's built businesses. He's not patriotic. He loves America, right? Somebody may say, Bill Clinton may fit that quality, or John F. Kennedy may fit that quality. And I don't know who your last capable president would have been in your eyes. Do you have somebody that you think was the last capable one?
Well, let's put it this way. I don't want anything to rest on whether or not my evaluation of somebody's characteristics is accurate. I could be fooled by somebody. But yes, I think there are people. I mean, again, Joe Rogan meets those criteria easily. I would say Tulsi Gabbard seems to meet those criteria. Looks to me like Rand Paul meets those criteria. So there are lots of people. Your question about why such people don't tend to end up, and I wouldn't say it's that they don't tend to end up attracted to the idea of governing. They don't tend to survive.
That's my question. Not attracted, because Tulsi did, Rand did. Joe doesn't want to have anything to do with it. Sure. At least that's my understanding.
He's too smart.
Yeah, he's too smart. But that's also the thing. A lot of times, I had Catherine Gale. I don't know if you know who she is, or Michael Porter. They wrote a book called The Industry of Politics. So I had them on 4 years ago. I don't know the exact timeline. I had them on a few years ago. And both of them lean left. But they had this idea about how to elect a president in a complete different way. It's a model that's more on Andrew Yang, the direction he's going with Forward Party. And he's also kind of pushing a third-party person to get elected. But a Tulsi Gabbard, when she was on the left and she said anything about Hillary Clinton, boom, they ousted her. Now she's out as an independent to win. Or Rand Paul. Rand has very good ideas. A lot of people from the right like Rand Paul. He's got audacity. He's got courage. He went up against Fauci. He's not afraid. He has values. He's got principles. He stands up for him. He seems reasonable. He seems smart, intellectual. But why the current system doesn't allow those types of talent to make it to the top?
Well, it's worse than that. Our current system ensures that if you make it to the final round of the competition, that you are excellent at corruption. And that's really the problem, is that you have an evolutionary dynamic in which we are constantly forcing the people who will ultimately have that kind of power to demonstrate that they are exceptionally good at figuring out, on which side their bread is buttered. And then when they get to the top office, we're shocked that the corruption continues. And so another aspect of the unity proposal was that it effectively took courageous, capable patriots and sped them past the system that forces people to become excellent at corruption. Now, somebody who had been sped past that corrupting steeplechase would be in a position to purge the system below them of corruption. If you try to do this from the ground up, the corruption will win. If you did this from the top down, and I'm not in general a fan of top-down solutions, but in this case, I don't believe there's another way you could do it.
If this, hypothesis or experiment actually came to life, this unity party, this ticket, correct me if I'm wrong, speaking of Andrew Yang, I believe your proposal was Andrew Yang on the left and General Bill McRaven on the right, I want to say in 2020?
That was the initial formulation of it.
So if that came to be, it's a two-part question, how do you think that governance would look today, 2023? And, you call yourself a progressive, almost even a radical, your words. That to me sounds as moderate as it gets, meaning someone on the center left, someone on the center right come together. I guess maybe it's not moderate, as you're shaking your head. I guess how would they be faring today if that ticket did come to life? And what would the moderate versus radical approach be?
That's a great question. So I will say I am a radical because I believe only radical change can save us. But it's not like I like radicalism. I don't like radicalism.
You are a radical, but you don't like the concept.
I'm a radical because in 2023, that's what's required.
Okay.
I don't want to see a radical civilization. I want to see a civilization in which the tension between conservatism and progressivism results in dynamism, which we've seen. I mean, that's what built America and the West. Right?
Dynamism.
It is that tension. Right? Mm-hmm. What you need is progressives who can see what solutions actually might be worth the freight, and you need conservatives to put the brakes on them to make sure they don't get carried away with fanciful notions about what might be that are utopian nonsense. Right? Mm-hmm. It's both things. So I have said sometimes in the past that I am a radical who wants to live in a world so good that I get to be a conservative, right? So
some may say you sound confused.
Right, they may, and then they're not getting it because and this is one of the problems I see on the left is that people fall in love with the idea of progress. They don't understand how dangerous it is, and so the point is we can't reach a place where they'll stop. Right, we can't reach a place that's good enough that they will stand down and say, all right, how do we've succeeded? How do we keep it?
How about this? Just to be clear, if you could send a clear, concise message to your friends on the far left, and then a clear, concise message to the friends on the far right about this unity ticket, what would your direct message to these types of people be?
I think the message is if you don't break out of the dynamic that you're stuck in, then this is going to be a short ride, right? We don't have a good plan to go forward, and we need one. And frankly, we're 30 years late, right? We needed to see this 30 years ago. Then we would have had time to do this. Now we're in an emergency situation, and I would just say it is, as much as I see conservatives have completely lost patience with liberals. And they've done this because the liberals at the moment seem insane. And so I would ask them to rethink that and just recognize that this is actually the moment at which conservatives have a very clear and vitally important role to play. But it is not to the exclusion of progressives.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.